Carter Blackburn, Mike Jaminski, Jamie Maggio. What do you expect out of the Aggies in the Phoenix?
This is pitching versus hitting right out of the box. I mean, this is astounding. Green Bay, average length of possession, 13.4 seconds. And the Aggies, one of the best defensive teams in the country. And in an effort to improve that other side of the ball, you saw Rick Stansbury, former Mississippi State coach, who's helped to come in and be the offensive coordinator.
And Tyler Davis gives the Aggies their first points of the game. Into the post to the 6'10 freshman immediately.
You know, a lot of guys are big, but they want to play outside. This guy wants to be a post player, and he's got a wide body and uses it very effectively.
Freshman from Plano West High School, last year's Texas High School Player of the Year, leading Plano West to the 6A state title with DJ Hogue, who's also now an Aggie. The Phoenix push it in a hurry. Offensive foul called on Charles Cooper.
Yeah, I would expect Texas A&M to do that, you know, as quickly as Green Bay wants to advance the ball. They're going to be ready to get bodies in places and take charges.
Anthony Collins draws the charge. Green Bay, 10 steals a game. Second in the nation. They are first in total steals, and here goes Carrington Love. Open it up for Faust. And that's what the Green Bay Phoenix want to do all night.
Yeah, that's how they're built. And ask Billy Kennedy, they said, are you going to, you know, he says, we want to get across the floor and attack this and score as well. So good start for both teams.
Green Bay turns it over. Daniel House attacking, blocked inside by Kenneth Lowe.
This is just a pick right out in the open floor. Terrific defensive play coming from behind. Carrington Love making a lovely play defensively.
91 steals now. Second in the nation for Carrington Love. Jalen Jones kicks it out. Jones right back at it. Nearly touched on the rim, held off, and then a foul. As Faust and Jalen Jones get tangled up. Fouls on Jalen Jones. Some of the impressive numbers from the Green Bay Phoenix.
Yeah, and this is nationally, not just in their conference. Number one in steals, free throw attempts. They get to the line, they force you to in the turnovers, and then points per game. And you know, Carter, it is a rare thing that it's rare that a guy gets promoted these days from Division II up to Division I. But Green Bay is usually a high-profile assistant that gets those jobs. But Green Bay took a chance on him, and his style. He won a D2 championship where he came from South Florida.
Oh, foul on the three-point shot, and it's on Collins.
Yeah, Florida Southern. I mean, and you know, he sold them on. He said, "This is the way I played there. This is how I'm going to play here."
And we chatted with Carrington Love and said, "All right." Link Garner comes in and says, "You're going to play 94 feet and steals and high scoring." And he said, "Yeah, that was music to my ears."
You know, and players say that, but to play at that tempo is really hard. You know, they also want to run. They want to get out and run. But it's when you get into it. And I asked him, "Do you do anything differently in the preseason and the conditioning program?" He says, "No, I said, we don't even run a lot in our practices. We just play at our tempo, and that's enough."
Love might need to work on the free throws a little bit more. House pressured, gives it up. He turned it over. Yep. The relentless Green Bay Phoenix. You know who broke the news to Link Garner, the Purdue alum that Purdue had lost yesterday? Us. Khalil Small nails the three. Green Bay, the early lead on Texas A&M.
Playing for the head coach Gene Katie.
House attacks. And to no one's surprise, Gene Katie in regular communication with Link Garner. Lowe misses the dunk.
I'll venture to say that there will not be a single shot clock violation in this game for Green Bay. They may not get under 15. Here's that look. It's just enough bother there on the defensive side to miss the play.
Charles Cooper commits that foul, his second already. Sending Jalen Jones to the line, the senior from Dallas Kimball High School. Left SMU after fall semester 2013. Received an NCAA waiver to play immediately for the Aggies.
And a really tough matchup as a 6'7" 4. You know, we talk about stretch fours, guys who can pull it out, but he gives people, he's a lot like Jerron Blossingame in the ACC for Clemson, who can, you know, he's incredible enough from three. You have to pay attention to him, but does so many other things at that size.
The Phoenix push again. Kenneth Lowe finishes this time.
You know, Blank told us yesterday, he says, I'll get upset if you don't take a shot that's good, regardless of when it is in the shot clock.
House takes a tumble, foul called. First round coverage of the NCAA Division I Women's Basketball Championship begins today on ESPN2 and Watch ESPN. For more information on game times and listings, go to ncaa.com. Fouls on Botts is first. Love gets his second steal. And Carrington Love traveled.
Then he kind of tapped his chest, and he knew, you know, there's one thing, there's a fine line between pace and being out of control. And I thought he was a little bit out of control that time, didn't have a good handle.
Green Bay won the Horizon Tournament as a 4 seed. Paige Valpo back for their win last year over the Phoenix. 10 to shoot for the Aggies. House for three. Danielle House deep in the shot clock.
Not a great shooter percentage-wise, but 31% on the year, but a nice bailout at the end of the clock.
It was big against Kentucky, SEC final. Khalil Small has an answer.
I don't know that I'm going to get to say a whole lot during this game. This pace is more for a play-by-play guy.
I don't think I'll get to say a whole lot either. You say that like it's a bad thing, Mike.
No, not at all.
Caruso. Small between the legs. On to Jordan Faust. Oh, Caruso right into the hands of Carrington Love. Third steal for Love. Rejected on the other end by House. Phoenix will keep it. Action-packed start between the Phoenix and the Aggies.
That's going to be a rock fight. The first team to 50 is going to win that game.
Between Pitt and Wisconsin,
yes.
Here we got another team from Wisconsin, the Phoenix. Green Bay.
They play at a slightly higher tempo than does Wisconsin. Just slightly.
Or anybody else. 8 seconds to shoot. Fouls, heaves it. Long rebound out of bounds. It'll be Aggie basketball. 1-point edge here for Texas A&M as we begin the night session in Oklahoma City. Middle Tennessee, the 8-15 seed to win. And the ACC, a conference you're very familiar with, Mike.
Yeah, showing out well so far. I still think, barring now on that side of the bracket, for North Carolina, things have really opened up. And you got Virginia, and they're playing awfully well. That was it was a hard fought. I think Virginia they couldn't make shots down the stretch in the final, and then North Carolina kind of finding itself. They'll play as well as Marcus Page plays. He's the key to them. If he plays great, they are a Final Four national championship caliber team.
Off the inbound, House nails the three. Daniel House, the senior from Sugar Land.
Kind of a volume shooter, volume scorer. He needs to, not a high percentage, needs to take a lot of shots. But starting off well here, 3 of 4, 8 points.
Hurdle drills the three. Jamar Hurdle, junior from Milwaukee via Des Moines Area Community College. Already the third made three for Green Bay. Another steal. This one from Small. Hurdle off his head, back into his hands. Bots inside. Fouls can't finish. Caruso off the hands of Jones. Aggies give it right back to Green Bay. Mike, you talked about how Billy Kennedy's team, they weren't going to back away from the pressure. But is this more to Phoenix's liking?
Absolutely. Well, that was already the 5th turnover of the game in 6 minutes for the Aggies. And 3 minutes. So far the Phoenix dictating tempo.
Fourth made three of the early going for the 14 seed Green Bay. 4 threes. They've turned the Aggies over 6 times, including 3 of the last 4 possessions. Jones inside, rejected by Hurdle. Darrington Love finds Hurdle again off the shot fake in the paint. Hurdle, finger roll.
That was a long possession and it lasted 12 seconds. I watched the clock and I was watching the game unfold.
8 straight for Green Bay. Jones, offensive foul. Charge drawn by Jamar Hurdle.
Here's the call. Got outside the block charge line. And the thing you have to do is really commit and show the referees that you're going to take it. You want to get it. There's a little box on your chest that they look at, and you want to take it right there. And he got there in plenty of time. Some guys slide to the side. Some guys aren't really committed to it. But that was a terrific play.
Second foul on Jalen Jones. So one of the Aggies goes to the bench. One of the veteran Aggies goes to the bench at the 13:09 mark. How about Khalil Small for Green Bay? He averages 9.8 points. 7 minutes into the game, he has 9 points, and he attacks again. Misses this time. House clears it. Down the baseline, Gilder. That's a tie-up. Possession's going to give it to Green Bay.
It's almost a little bit like shock and awe for the Aggies. I mean, they look a little stunned right now at the pace. And I don't know, Carter, how you replicate this in practice to try to prepare for it.
Fouls in the paint. 10 straight for Green Bay. A 6-point edge.
I used to think that North Carolina was as fast as anybody up and down the floor, but I've never seen a pace like this in a game before.
Away Florida Southern, played on the way to the D2 title last year, coached by Link Darner, and he brought it to Green Bay. And the Phoenix take it away again. 6 steals already by Green Bay. Fouls on the floor.
Okay, that was 7 seconds from the time they got it inbounds up to the rim.
The football guys say that basketball is pacing is creeping into that game. And this looks like a hurry-up offense,
No
Oregon
huddle,
Duck style.
No huddle.
They average 84 points a game, 6th in the nation. Already 6 steals with a team that has more than anyone else in college basketball. Fouls can't finish.
And And sometimes, you know, if there's a team in your league that plays like this, I don't think there's any team in the Big 12 that, you know, that the Aggies have seen that, or the SEC, I'm sorry, that you know, that plays like this. I don't think anybody plays like this.
4 to shoot. Hogue bumped, fouls on Small. Green Bay off and running in Oklahoma City. Green Bay, time to check in with Jamie for a Powerade sideline report.
Carter, thank you so much. As you mentioned earlier, the Green Bay Phoenix lead the nation in steals with 344 coming into this tournament, and that is due in large part to the thieving of seniors Jordan Faust and Carrington Love. The two actually have a friendly competition going. After every game, they grab the stat sheet and compare. In fact, this season, Love's 90 steals broke the all-time school record previously held by, yeah, you guessed it, Jordan Faust. Love has already picked up 3 steals in this game. The team has 6. What's that saying, Carter? Competition breeds success?
Yeah, I think that's exactly right.
Okay.
For Jolt's and Jamie Maggio's Ernie W.
Well, you know, I think it's great. You know, you don't grab the stat sheet to see who scored more. You know, in a category like that, I think that's great.
Green Bay gives it up. Gilder gets the steal. Attacks. Foul called on Faust. That's his first, already 17 fouls on Green Bay.
Wow, that's a tough call. I thought just a little bit on the hand, but almost made a terrific defensive play.
7 turnovers by the Aggies in the last 6 minutes. They haven't scored in 4+. And Gilder, one of the heralded freshmen for the Aggies, gets the first free throw.
I would think the Aggies at this point, I mean, it's one thing to embrace what Green Bay's doing, but maybe try to grab control of the tempo a little bit. Maybe 1 or 2 possessions, you know, walk it up, get your breath, run a play, you know, get something good. But they have gotten sucked right into this up and down track meet.
Karam Cantor into the game for Green Bay Phoenix. His brother plays for the Thunder, Ennis Cantor. And here is Karam Cantor. Can't finish with the left.
Well, it looks just like him, too.
Thunder out of town now, so.
But if Texas wins, they'll be in the house on Sunday.
KD will be in the house.
Yep.
Green Bay thought it was their ball, but it is Aggie basketball. Into Anthony Collins, a senior point guard, graduate transfer from South Florida. Foul.
Cantor got the arm bar in the back.
Looks like Vern Harris told him, I warned you the last time down, and now I'm going to call it on you.
You have to wonder from Billy Kennedy's standpoint, too, if the pace of this game dictates a different substitution pattern, maybe getting guys in a little quicker than they would normally, you know, do, just going up and down as fast as they are.
Billy Kennedy, who just got a 5-year contract extension. One of 2, offensive rebound off the free throw miss. Second chance for the Aggies. Collins into the post for Davis. Into the freshman big man again.
I tell you what, for a freshman, he's got great instincts inside. That was a deep catch. There was nothing that Green Bay could do about that. He really uses his body well.
Aggies go zone, Finley 3.
I think that's just in an effort to try to calm things down, Carter, and especially in the half court. If they don't get a run out, at least make them use some clock in the half court.
Back into the hands of Collins. Nine to shoot. Into Davis in the post. Trying to play inside out. Trocha-Morelos misses his first look. Your teams, your highlights, your scores, all in one place. Download Team Stream, the free app from Bleacher Report now.
Well, I think the move to the zone, again, is again, I think Billy Kennedy's trying to grab a little hold on the pace of this game, be a little bit more deliberate offensively, and then slow them down in the half court. The Green Bay seems a little more reluctant to fire early against this zone.
Small. Rebound for Cantor. Misses the stick back. DJ Hogue clears it. Hogue trailing. Gordon Davis fouled inside. And the 12th man getting behind the Aggies here in Oklahoma City. Those dear old Texas Aggies, as they say.
Both teams in a little bit of a drought right now. Green Bay, one of their last 7. Texas A&M, one of their last 5.
Davis gets the first. Make some noise for the iHeartRadio Music Awards. Live Sunday, April 3rd at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. CBS, TNT, True TV. Stillwater Pioneers will be there. Green Bay hanging on to a 1-point lead, but 7 straight for the Aggies. Cantor nearly turns it over and then finds a cutting hurdle for the dunk.
Really nice inside-out play, and Cantor, they look like giving him some post touches inside. Nice back cut.
Down the post. Trocha-Morelos, the sophomore from Columbia.
Pretty good young front line to rely on for the next few years.
Lots misses, out of bounds to the Aggies. Green Bay hanging on to the 1-point edge on Texas A&M. Tempo game. Green Bay leads it by 1.
No, they've been very active, and as Jamie alluded to, #1 in the country in that category, just swarming after the basketball, and then when they do get a steal, it doesn't take them very long to get up to the floor and convert on it. The thing that's keeping the Aggies in the game right now is the free throw line. They're a +7 there, but right now Green Bay has 9 more field goal attempts in the game because of those turnovers and steals.
Link Garner says people pay attention to the offense and the points, but it was our defense that won us the conference tournament as the 4 seed in the Horizon. And to shoot for the Aggies. Skip pass. Trocha-Morelos into the hands of Faust. Falls down, gets it to Small. Barrington Love hasn't scored yet. Averages almost 18 a game. Lob somehow goes down. Not perfect, but Hurdle gets credit.
Yeah, I don't know that that's exactly how it was drawn up, but 2 points nonetheless, and that's a good way to attack the zone, to throw over the top of it, and you got guys on the baseline who can go up and get a lob.
Hold. Rebound, stick back. Trocha-Morelos again.
Aggies 2 of 7 from 3, but Trocha right there to clean things up. In this zone, despite that last lob, this zone has calmed the pace of the game down.
Into the corner. Hurdle drills the 3. The 5th made 3 of the game for the Phoenix.
They've got a few guys over 40% from 3, and Hurdle's one of them.
Got an offensive foul. Let's take a look at the Infinity Coaches Spotlight. Texas A&M head coach Billy Kennedy received a Parkinson's disease diagnosis before he coached a game with the Aggies. A neurodegenerative brain disorder. Most symptoms take years to develop. Kennedy been vigilant about diet and exercise, as he wants to coach for a long time Texas A&M wants to as well. Just signed him to that 5-year contract.
Well, and you know what? And I applaud Texas A&M, and you know, it's the fact of life that there are recruiters out there who would use that against him but they stepped up and gave him a vote of confidence, and good for them. And he's going to be around for a long time.
House finishes. Foul called. And, I mean, the proof is with an SEC regular season title shared with Kentucky, SEC Coach of the Year.
Yep, and Daniel House going in strongly.
Second foul on Hurdle.
Second guy, and that's Hurdle's the only guy in double figures for Green Bay right now. House the only player in double figures for the Aggies.
Daniel House at the line. He's a guy who was a huge recruit for James Dickey at the University of Houston. Then James Dickey was fired. House transferred to Texas A&M, and that was a big pickup for the Aggies. Second team All SEC this year.
And when he's on his game and when he's good, they usually are too. He's lacked a little bit of consistency.
Russo gets the steal. And while we were knocking the basketball away, foul called. No. Like I said, I was distracted by the basketball in our lap, so out of bounds off Green Bay, Aggie basketball.
Better the ball than a player.
Yeah. Caruso drops it off. Trocha-Morelos gets the dunk. Aggies on top. Timeout, Green Bay. The fighting Texas Aggies. A 16-6 run to take the lead. There on TBS here. So here's the active steals leaders in Division I. Two of them in this game. Caruso for the Aggies, fouls for Green Bay.
And we had Shaquille Harrison on Wednesday too, so guard your wallet.
Caruso has one steal in this game. 7 steals by the Phoenix as a team. Cantor stepping into the three. Karam Cantor drills it. 5 made threes for Green Bay in the first half.
Cantor only 19% coming into the year, so not a reliable three-point shooter, but looked pretty good in that instance.
The lob to the post. Hogue with the left.
When they don't turn it over, they're getting anything they want.
So the problem not really with Aggies execute other than the turnover.
That just gives Green Bay extra possessions and extra shots.
26th lead changes in the game. Bots misses. Off Cantor, Aggie ball. Green Bay's only NCAA tournament win, 1994, as a 12 seed. The Phoenix beat a Cal team led by Jason Kidd. Daniel House. 10 to shoot. Kick back. Hold. Trocha-Morelos has the board. Back out to House. So 2 missed threes on the trip.
2 deep missed threes, too.
Bounce. Air ball. Cantor was out of bounds. Back to the Aggies.
This is bordering on like a pickup game. Something you'd play in September. You know, you're getting ready for the year, just flying up and down. I've never seen anything like this.
Not like the ones that Pete Carrill would play in at Princeton, right?
Well, no, he wouldn't be allowed in here because he played with a lit cigar. True story.
One of those
3-on-3 with a lit cigar and could shoot the lights out.
You've unfurled a lot of good stories already this week. That was maybe tops. Maybe takes the cigar. Aggies fighting back against feisty Green Bay.
Well, all right, that's I'm lowering my bar. The first team to 40 is going to win that game.
This one a little more action-packed. Let's check in with Jamie.
Thanks, Carter. Coach Kennedy's message to the Aggies in that huddle: stay focused in these last few minutes. Do all the little things, the hustle plays. Just play hard. Finish this half strong. Carter.
And the Aggies, I mean, they started with a spate of turnovers, but they've improved on that, which is probably why they have the 2-point edge.
They've improved on the turnovers, and they've I mean, you look at Green Bay, they're scoring in the low 80s, but the Aggies score 76 points a game, so they're capable of playing at that level. But I think they've done a better job over this last period of getting in the zone. They're back to man now, but that zone really slowed things down a little. It is a little more normal game.
Ten seconds to shoot for Green Bay. Small in the paint, lost it. House takes it away.
Even man-to-man, I mean, that's as deep as that team has gone into the shot clock in a long time.
Into the post. Tie up. Possession arrow is going to keep it with the Aggies. Watch live games on your computer, phone, tablet, or streaming device with NCAA March Madness Live. Watch now at ncaa.com, March Madness, or download the app today.
Davis had good position inside. They just didn't have a good angle to deliver the ball.
Lynn Garner says it was Roger Lyons at Ashland, the genesis of this system, and he was an assistant there. And he used it 9 years at Florida Southern, including the D2 title, and now
almost like Paul Westhead, though. I mean, back to those days. I mean, trying to score within 10 seconds of getting the ball.
It's worked. Caruso, tough runner for the senior from College Station. Dad Mike, associate AD for the Aggies. Bounce. Caruso boards it.
Seconds.
Yeah. Davis camped out in the lane.
I think Carter, and two, it's probably taken Texas A&M this long to acclimate themselves to what they're playing against. And I talked about not being able to replicate it in practice. Well, now they've kind of settled in, and I think in the second half they're going to have a better handle on things.
Small. Looking for Cantor on the slip. Offensive foul on Small.
His first. Nobody really in real foul trouble right now. Look, he's lost his footing. Well, actually, he stepped on Caruso's foot.
Seventh turnover by Green Bay. Back into the hands of Caruso. Collins on the bench. Caruso running point. Off the shot fake. Into the paint. Lost it on the way up. Small. Bounce over to Cantor. Tries another one.
Well, I know he hit one earlier, but if you were to give a choice, you'd want him taking threes instead of just about anybody else on the floor.
He's made 5 threes all year, including the one earlier. Gilder has a 3 on the other end, and the Aggies have their largest lead at 7 points.
Yeah, really a well-rounded player. He can play some point for you. He's got pretty good range.
8 straight for Texas A&M. Minute 21 before the half, coming up on AT&T at the half. Scores and highlights and the latest NCAA tournament news. That's all coming up on AT&T at the half, including a tough day for the Pac-12. Back to Caruso. The former Texas A&M ball boy growing up. He was in the stands when they went to the Sweet 16 with AC Long. Tyler Davis inside. Aggies stretching out to a 9-point advantage.
Well, I tell you, he is really polished for a freshman. You don't see that a lot in the low post. He's got a great low box game.
Carrington Love crosses over, finds Cantor, heaves another one. Offensive board, Botts, and a blocking foul underneath. Called by Vern Harris.
You know what, Carter? I mean, for all of the pace of the game that Green Bay has had, and they're sitting at 31 points right now. They're well under halfway to where they would normally be for their scoring. So, all things considered, I think the Aggies have done a really good job of, despite the pace, keeping them under control.
We'll see Henry Uwadie, the 6'11" junior from Nigeria. After, let's see, Cantor made 1 3 and missed 2.
I think Link Darner had a little conversation with him about shot selection when he came out of the game.
Usually it's a pretty green light, but that may be one of the exceptions. Timeout, Texas A&M, 7-point lead. The Aggies from College Station. Rising League, the 14 seed Green Bay Phoenix. It's been 6 straight NCAAs for Texas A&M. Let me correct that. There were 6 straight NCAAs from 06 to 11 under Billy Gillespie, who's now at Ranger Junior College in Texas. Nine to shoot here. Foul away from the ball. It was Uwadie who checked in for the last minute and a half.
I was looking up at the clock, and I said, no, there's 4 difference between shot and game clock. Plenty of time for Green Bay to get something at the other end.
They're used to shooting it in a hurry. Davis for 2 here. She doesn't hold anything back. Watch Full Frontal with Samantha Bee, all new, Mondays, 10:30 on TBS.
The Aggies have 12 turnovers, but they've only had 1 live ball turnover. The last one was at the 11-minute mark. So, like I said, settling into the pace and what they're having to face.
1 of 2. Plenty of time for Green Bay.
Oh, no, it's an eternity.
Love step back for 3. Texas A&M takes an 8-point lead into the half, 41-33 after the hot start for Green Bay. The Phoenix led by as many as 8, but the Aggies leaded by 8 at the half, 41-33.
Kind of the turning point was when they went to that zone and slowed things down. That really got the game under control.
And Jamie is with Aggie head coach Billy Kennedy.
Thank you, Carter. Coach, a run and gun first half. Can your team sustain that moving forward, or will you look to slow the tempo down?
So we've got to be able to take care of the ball. We had too many turnovers by our forwards and didn't get the right guys in the ball with the ball. But once we ran offense, we were better.
What have you liked about your team's performance, and specifically Tyler Davis, freshman, hasn't been here before?
Well, he's a definite weapon, and we started getting him the ball. It took us a while, but we know he's an advantage. We got to get him the ball.
Okay, thank you, Coach.
10 for Davis. Aggies lead at 41-33 at the half. We'll send you to AT&T at the half. After these messages, you're watching the NCAA Men's Basketball Championship. At the half, here in Oklahoma City. Carter Blackburn, Mike Jaminsky, Jamie Maggio. So Green Bay established the tempo early, and yet the Aggies are up by 8.
And I think they just settled into the pace of the game again. I thought, you know, when trying to prepare for a team like this is almost impossible. You can't replicate that speed. Your guys aren't used to playing that way. I think they finally found a comfort zone about the 10-minute mark. They went to a zone. The possessions were a little bit longer, and they really dominated things in the paint.
Daniel House, leading scorer for the Aggies in the first half. 11 points on 4 for 6 shooting.
Yeah, and I think this is where the game is going to be won if they do win it for the Aggies. Inside, work inside out, get some paint touches, some post touches, and again, I think they're going to be much better prepared to play this team in the second 20 minutes than they were in the first 20.
Take a look at our degree first half stats. House with 11 points, the 12 turnovers by Texas A&M. Only 10 points off of turnovers. Moments ago, Jamie spoke with Green Bay head coach Link Darner.
Carter, thank you. Coach, you guys are winning the turnover battle, but just 2 fast break points so far in the game. How can you better capitalize on those opportunities?
Well, when we get the steals and that, we got to run out and convert. We didn't do a good job with that. I thought our pressure really bothered them the first 10 minutes, and then we get in foul trouble, and we kind of had to take our press off. We got to get back to pressuring them, and you know, they turn over 11 or 12 times a game, and we got them that in the first half. So that'll be a big key for us the second half.
Okay, Coach, thanks for your time. Good luck in the second half.
Thank you.
You know, and Jamie asked a good question, and you know, Green Bay has 5 fewer turnovers, but the points off turnovers is the same. So Texas A&M doing a much better job of capitalizing on them than Green Bay is.
Green Bay won 23 games. Only Matt McCall at Chattanooga, Chris Beard at Little Rock won more games in year 1 this season than Link Darner.
Little Rock won another one.
That's right.
And a really big one.
That was one that a lot of people had. That's a good team. Davis back from behind by Faust.
On the way out of first half, Bill Kennedy talked about wanting to get more post touches right there, but very good recovery on the defensive end.
Faust off the shot fake. Draws a foul on House. So that will be House fouling Faust.
This is our 3rd game, right?
Yeah. A lot of fun. We got Northern Iowa and Texas coming up next. So both the Aggies and the Longhorns in the house.
Well, kind of by Cooper, kind of Barkley-esque there. He just kind of carved out some space for himself. He was kind of stuck in no man's land, but made some room and scored.
What's Charles doing these days?
Still making room for himself. Still carving out space.
9 to shoot. House down the baseline and one. Another foul on Faust.
Here's the look. It's a good take, and he bid on the pump fake, and Faust a little late getting over there. You have to come out, have to put those out under control on shooters. Stay down on those pump fakes. You're not going to block that shot.
House finishes off the 3-point play. You see 11 of 15 from the line for Texas A&M. Decided advantage. Green Bay leads the nation in free throw attempts, but only 5 in this game. Off the shot fake, Faust turns it over.
Well, that's just good disciplined defense by Texas A&M and not fouling and putting them on the line. You know, you would think with the tempo they play, that's the reason why they get to the line so much.
Faust in the paint, the push shot won't go. Davis lost it. Cooper attacks, Collins pokes it away.
Right in the open floor, too. He misses that, that's a dunk.
Caruso back into the post, taken away. It was tipped by Lowe. And then Caruso takes it back.
Carter, two opportunities to score right there for Green Bay, and they come up empty on both.
So the Phoenix, who averaged 84 games, sitting on 35 right now.
The Aggies taking a little breather in this possession, running some clock.
House in the paint again. Largest lead of the game for Texas A&M.
And he's scoring and doing it in a very efficient manner, too.
Cooper. Daniel House behind the back. A little too tricky. And then a foul given, frustration foul by House. And the Aggies up 11. Get caught up on all of today's action now with the CBS Sports app. Check your bracket, watch highlights, and get expert analysis of your team's matchup. Download the CBS Sports app now.
And, you know, sometimes the pace of play like this doesn't catch up to you until the last 10 minutes of the game, you know, and that's when it really would get into Texas A&M's legs. So I know that they'd like to extend this lead as quickly as possible to kind of get in a little bit of a comfort zone.
Pitt, Wisconsin going down to the wire on TNT. The Phoenix from Green Bay, Wisconsin. Hanging tough with Texas A&M throughout this one, but now the Aggies have opened up their biggest lead. Red guard looking for NCAA win #1 as head coach of the Badgers.
Really odd not to see Bo Ryan walking the sidelines there. You talk about it again. There's those guys that, you know, with him and Dick Bennett and coming up through the Division II and Division III ranks in the Wisconsin area.
Jones goes into the press table. Quickly back out on the floor. Taps it to Miller, who draws the foul on low.
Good work inside. You see he just kind of sneaks underneath the defense, keeps the ball alive, and if they wanted to travel, might have had a good case for one right there.
Timeout with the Aggies up 11. Largest lead of the game for Texas A&M. Here in Oklahoma City. 12-point edge now for Texas A&M. Coached by Billy Kennedy. With wife Mary, Anna Kate, and Lexi in the house, rooting on Dad and the Aggies.
Well, and it's, you know, when you're going through what he's going through, everybody goes through it. And you need that strength of your family to help battle that.
Green Bay won for the last 11. Small fouled, sending us to an official timeout. Aggies by 13. All right, Ernie. Wisconsin well represented here. The Cheeseheads are in the house with Green Bay. Checking in on the Badgers. Got Packers gear. Milwaukee native Wade Robinson on stats. Wisconsin in the house. And Khalil Small started 3 for 3, 9 points in the first 6 minutes. Hasn't hit a field goal since. That's his first point since that explosive start for Khalil Small. But he gets both free throws. Still an 11-point lead for Texas A&M.
But it just seems like a totally different game, Carter, from the first 10 minutes to this point right now. And it just the Aggies have grabbed hold of the pace and made it like a more normal, you know, at least more to their liking.
And so what's been the biggest difference for Texas A&M to get that pace in their favor?
Well, I just think, you know, I think they've been more patient offensively. They've taken possessions deeper into the clock. That zone helped conflict them, and really, I can't remember the last time that Green Bay got a run at it. You know, they've made them play in the half court.
You have one field goal in the last 10 minutes between the end of the first half and the start of the second now for Green Bay.
It's exposed their shooting, I think, to a certain degree in the half court in their execution, but they've really, and plus the lack of turnovers by Texas A&M.
10 to shoot. Jones buries the three. Jalen Jones extending the Aggie lead. 14 points, largest of the game.
Well, if their jump shooting comes alive and then they can play inside and outside, it's going to put a lot of pressure on the Phoenix.
Finally a field goal. That's Jordan Faust, senior from Racine. Jones fouled by Faust on the floor. Winner of this game advances to play either Northern Iowa or Texas. And there's the Longhorns. And here in Oklahoma City, the Longhorns and the Aggies, I mean, like their fight songs say, they said goodbye to one another.
They may be saying hello to one another.
The Aggies can hang on against Green Bay, and Northern Iowa, one of those trendy upset picks.
How about that in the brackets? If you got Kentucky and Indiana, which everybody wanted to see, and then maybe that matchup.
And the NCAA selection committee putting together what sometimes the, dare we say, egos involved don't otherwise schedule. A&M and Texas actually did meet in the Bahamas and Thanksgiving weekend in a tournament, but they haven't played each other regularly.
Yeah, home and home.
Jones inside.
That's the thing that's been consistent. You know, the A&M has been able to get to the rim off the dribble.
12th man getting behind the Aggies again. Hurdle straight away. And by the way, Mike, the famous restaurant and hangout spot in College Station is the Dixie Chicken. Your guys look great.
Nice. I might have to take my iPod and put on Waiting for Columbus and go have some lunch there. Nice long lunch.
I think they would welcome you with open arms at the Dixie Chicken. You can dunk your Aggie ring there. Russo resets it, the senior from College Station.
Miller was expecting him to take the shot, which he probably should have right there. You don't want to surprise a teammate in that situation.
Small foul, Collins over to slap him. Well, we mentioned the Texas Longhorns in the house. Northern Iowa, this is their hotel, which is next door. This is how short the commute is from the hotel.
What, it takes us about, what, 4 minutes
to
get here from our hotel?
Right. Yeah, very conducive downtown Oklahoma City here at Chesapeake Energy Arena. So just from the hotel right into the arena, quick walk. That was kind of funny when they said, Northern Iowa was going to walk over. Oh gosh, that's going to be interesting. Well, I mean, how long would it take to load up the bus and drive down the ramp?
I know. Well, you walked back to the hotel last night after the shoot-around.
It was pretty easy.
I, however, opted for transportation at my advanced age.
I got 23.
16-point edge for Texas A&M, a team that started the year 17-2. They were ranked as high as 5 in the country in late January, highest ever ranking for Texas A&M men's basketball. Another turnover in the backcourt, though, right into the hands of Green Bay.
Right after that time, they went into a little bit of a skid. They were playing some good teams on the road in the SEC, and they had that target on their back. You know, that number 5 ranking, that gets people's attention. All of a sudden, you get their best shot. And I would expect, Carter, for the remaining 12 minutes of this game, that you're going to see full court pressure from the Phoenix. So they're kind of forced into that situation right now. So Texas A&M is going to have to show some poise against that full court pressure and attack it to score if you can.
Total of 16 turnovers by the Aggies, but
and amazing. Well, the free throw line is really keeping them in play. But imagine, it's tough to imagine you have turned it over 16 times and you're up 16.
High possession game, though.
Yep.
They beat the trap, beat the pressure that time down. Into Davis off a nice feed from Trocha-Morelos.
The great thing about that is, and again for a freshman, catching the ball up high, keeping it up high, and then scoring.
Fouls on the floor, sending us to an official timeout. The 3-seed Aggies rolling at OKC.
The emphasis, almost right from the start that they have really pounded the ball inside. Tyler Davis has used his positioning well. He's driving the house and scoring inside, and it's right now 34-18 in favor of the Aggies.
Davis, 12 points, 6 rebounds in the game. The freshman, part of the top 10 recruiting class. Billy Kennedy and his staff put together. It's a group with a lot of seniors and a lot of freshmen, but they have come together for a remarkable season for the Aggies. House out of bounds, couldn't save it.
A&M going back to the zone, which helped them a lot in that first half, calm things down, but unable to get the rebound.
Aggies last year, 21 wins, NIT, narrowly missed the NCAA tournament. The SEC making a move. Greg Sankey, commissioner of the SEC, hiring Mike Tranghese, the former commissioner of the Big East, to try and bolster the men's basketball reputation of the SEC, scheduling and otherwise. Carrington Love hits the deep three.
That's the thing. Challenge yourself in the non-conference schedule, and then get players.
That helps.
That helps.
Can A&M share the regular season title with Kentucky?
Then the coaching change. It really surprised me when Billy Donovan left Florida. But Mike White he's a terrific young coach.
Of course, Billy Donovan now coaches in this building with the Thunder.
It's pretty tough to say no to the talent on this team.
Cooper turns it over right into the Green Bay radio announcers. Who's going to make the most shots? Who has more points in the second half? If your bracket's already busted, play the Capital One NCAA Tournament run game on NCAA.com and in the March Madness Live app.
If anybody's still got a solid bracket, they should hop a plane to Vegas.
Maybe they take Warren Buffett's plane.
Yeah, exactly.
Love gets a steal. Green Bay trying to steal its way back into it, but Collins, a pilfer, and a bucket.
And playing Green Bay's, and he gets another steal right there on the inbounds pass.
Wow.
Kind of playing Green Bay basketball for the last minute.
Flipping the script, the grad transfer. Morelos knocks down the three. The arrow and the three-point shot over the bench from Tony Trocha-Morelos. He was a 41% three-point shooter at 6'10".
See, I think this style with Green Bay, it's like the Princeton offense. It's a front-running style, but I think it's really hard to play from behind.
Davis goes over the back, picks up the foul.
Yeah, here's the look, and great anticipation by Brown to get out, and then he immediately goes to defense. He actually took a tumble there, and they tried for the long outlet pass. Really a heads-up play.
Anthony Collins, the only player on the roster for the Aggies to have played in an NCAA tournament game, and that was with South Florida back in 2012. Had a medical redshirt there 2 years ago. He started all but 3 games of his college career between the Bulls and the Aggies.
Yep. And you're a pass-first point guard when you're averaging more assists than you are points.
Turner Botts to the line, the junior from Little Chute, Wisconsin. And Kenneth Lowe, both from Little Chute. He gets the first free throw. One of two. Caruso finds DJ Hogue for three. The freshman steps out to knock down the triple.
35% on the year for him.
We've reached the 8:42 mark of the second half, and the good news for Green Bay is Matt Menzel is still in the house, the play-by-play announcer on the radio for Green Bay with Mark Daniels there. Matt had an interesting moment at the conference tournament in Horizon when, let's say, there was a disagreement with an official, and he was briefly booted from the tournament mid-game for the Phoenix, so he had to give up the call. I thought he handled it really well.
I've never heard of a radio play-by-play guy getting run out by a referee, and his explanation was, I talk with my hands a lot, and he thought I was showing him up in front of the crowd.
Happened with the Cincinnati Bearcats a few years ago, I know. But, yeah, there's Matt and Mark Daniels. So, yeah, Matt has so far stayed in the good graces of Vern Harris, Mike Cyphers, and Bill Elk. So, 8:24 mark. Happy to see Matt still in the building.
So I want you to keep yourself under control for this last half of this game and the next game.
It's better than you trying to get me tossed out of the game. I think that probably works better. I appreciate that. When this game was action-packed back and forth, you might have had that thought.
You know, it's tough. You know, a guy like Faust, the senior, you get a new coach coming in and a new style, and it's not easy to adapt to, but he seems to have embraced it this year.
Trocha-Morelos misses Caruso offensive board. Boy, the Aggies have played tough since Green Bay got off to that 8-point lead in the first.
Not a good decision right there.
Out of bounds, Green Bay keeps it, sending us to an official timeout. Aggies closing in on a first-round win. Southland strong, Stephen F. Austin.
And you wonder if West Virginia is going to do the same thing they did to Buddy Hield and holding him to 6 points in the semifinal.
The season low for Buddy Hield. Oklahoma Sooners advancing here in OKC. Games in the West region. 14 seed Green Bay, champs of the Horizon League. Texas A&M at large out of the SEC. Small gets to the free throw line. So Green Bay, this is 8 for 15 from the line. I mean, their season has been about getting to the free throw line. The most free throw attempts in the nation. But they're actually bottom 50 in free throw percentage makes. They're only 66% from the line. They get there a lot, but they haven't been hitting them.
And you think that this would be the way to get back, if you're going to crawl back into the game, is ugly it up a little bit and get to the line as much as you can.
Small misses them both. He's been solid as Small. 14 points in the game. Averaged 10 this year after averaging only 2 points per game as a freshman. Up to the rim, finished off by House.
Daniel House, that was amazing. That was a nice look from up top from Trocha. There's the play, and you see the back cut. They just kind of lost him on the backside, and it was a beautiful play, beautiful lob.
Daniel House maybe getting hot at the right time. The scoring has kind of been up and down during his senior year, but 32 versus Kentucky in the SEC finally played all 40 minutes of that game, and now Daniel House in this game. 20 points on 8 for 12 shooting.
And they had to burn a timeout right there.
But the Aggies are in control in Oklahoma City.
Burning a timeout like that in the first half, but with a lead, it's probably not going to hurt you a whole lot. But it was a risky pass to make, and trocha just got buried in the corner, and he had no other choice but to call a timeout.
House down the baseline. Caruso kick out. Gilder. Caruso hustles down another offensive board.
It just gives you another 20-plus seconds to play with.
Has the A&M career record for most assists at the SEC in steals this year. Oh, ugly. Low rather.
Kenneth Lowe, he's a high percentage shooter, 54% on the year. That was not close.
Winner advances to play either Texas or Northern Iowa. That one's coming up next in Oklahoma City.
What the building would be like if the two Texas schools wind up playing one another.
It's already interesting.
Tense.
Yeah, it's already interesting just to see the burnt orange of Texas and the maroon of Texas A&M. Mix in a little crimson and cream from the Sooners, and it's an interesting mix.
Yeah, and I really like that against the pressure. You know, the Green Bay has had to go to that since the 12-minute mark, but to attack to score, being aggressive, not just being happy with getting the ball over half court.
Rouse, blocking foul called on trocha-morelos.
There's the look. Anytime you give up the baseline, you run that risk.
Here's Fouls, the all-time leader in rebounds, steals, and blocks for Green Bay. He's made,
and it's not often guarded. You know, he was a 51% free throw shooter last year, and to make a 23% jump in 1 year, I mean that's a lot of hard work in the gym. It's not, you don't see a lot of people make that type of jump.
I think Gardner said as soon as he got the job, one of his missions was to build the shooting confidence in this entire team, but especially in Jordan Fouls.
And it's one thing too to do it in the practice floor, but sometimes it doesn't always. Like Shaquille O'Neal is a great shooter in practice, but he'd get on the floor and things would fall apart. So you have to translate that confidence in the game, and you don't know if that's going to happen until you get out there and start making a few.
Green Bay controlled this game early and had an 8-point lead early on. They were playing their tempo, turning A&M over, knocking down threes. Had the feel of a potentially special night for the Phoenix.
This is and Tyler Davis hasn't played much in this second half. They've gone to a little bit smaller, a little bit more, well, not necessarily small, maybe a little bit more athletic team. They've looked pretty good offensively.
At the 4-minute mark of the first half, Green Bay had a 1-point lead. Since then, only 4 made field goals in the game for Green Bay. A&M has outscored them 43-21 since then.
Aggies have been switching their defense as well, and now back in the zone.
Cooper turns it over.
And now Green Bay they're starting to catch up to Texas A&M in the turnover department. 16-19 now.
ECU advancing earlier today, and it was Oklahoma, the 2 seed, hanging on after the test. trocha-morelos and 1.
He's been really solid in this game. 12 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists. Pretty well-rounded game.
17 points, the biggest NCAA tournament win for Texas A&M. For A&M. The last NCAA tournament win was in 2010. That's when they went 6 straight. Billy Gillespie and Mark Turgeon guided them collectively to 6 straight. Well, in the Sweet 16 in 07.
Like in conference tournaments, anytime you can put somebody away early in this format with just the 1 day of rest in between, the more rest you can get your starters, that's like gold every minute that they're off the floor.
Small hits the three. Still a solid night for Khalil Small. 19 in the game on 4 made threes, but the Aggies close to advancing. Seed Aggies rolling over Green Bay.
And that Northern Iowa game is going to be intriguing to me. They've got 3 wins against top 25 teams this year. They're used to being in the tournament. They're going to be ready for this stage.
North Carolina and Iowa State, and 2 wins over Wichita State.
Yep.
Said a lot of folks have selected Northern Iowa to advance over Texas and pull off the upset.
And that game at Northern Iowa against North Carolina is Roy Williams likes to get games where his players are, and it was a homecoming for Marcus Page. It turned out to be a costly one. And I don't believe he played in that game. I think he was still injured when they went up there.
Jones goes to the line. He wears 12, which is a big number around Aggie land, the 12th man tradition. His dad, Reginald, was an all-SWAC player at Prairie View A&M. His dad wore 21, but it was taken when Jalen transferred.
Caruso already wearing it.
Right, so he flipped it to 12.
And it's not like the pros where you can go and say, I'll pay you $10,000 for your number or whatever, Same thing happened to me. I wore 44 in high school. I wanted to wear that. Somebody already had that at Duke, so I went to 43.
No money changed hands, right?
That's correct.
4 to shoot here. Green Bay turns it over into the hands of Jones. Number 12 attacks and draws a foul on foul, sending us to an official timeout. Aggies closing in on their first NCAA win since 2010. In Iowa and Texas. In an 11-6 matchup last night, it was Gonzaga over Seton Hall in a game that Gonzaga controlled. And speaking of Seton Hall, we have a Pirate legend in the house. PJ Carlissimo here, calling the game on Westwood One with our pal Tom McCarthy.
Yep, took Seton Hall to the finals in 1989, the year that Michigan won the game. A very close game on a very close call at the end, where Emil Robinson going up and knocking down a couple of free throws to get the win. Bill Frieder getting released at the end. He had already taken the job down at Arizona State, and Coach Schembechler said a Michigan man is going to coach a Michigan team, and he named Steve Fisher. I don't know that I've ever heard of that before or since. He took over the team for the tournament and made that run to the championship.
Won it all over P.J. Carlissimo's Seton Hall team. In the final, P.J. Carlissimo, the Al Labalbo Coaching Award winner. A big deal in the state of New Jersey.
And so, well, he was Fairleigh Dickinson. He was really upset. We're talking about it. For personal reasons, he couldn't make it back for the award.
Timeout for the Aggies. They're in control. Closing in on win number 27. The tradition-rich Aggies of Texas A&M. Back in the NCAA Tournament, looking for their first win since 2010 and a potential second-round matchup as Gilder gets the dunk.
The seas just parted and went right to the rim.
High hopes for him. Small continues his solid performance with a three.
So this is, for a guy like him, and he averages 19 minutes on the season, but to come in the NCAA tournament game and knock down some shots, get a dunk, build your confidence up.
That'll help too.
Yeah, I mean, there's, guy as they advance, they'll count on.
Adam Gilder, the freshman from Dallas Madison High School. He's going to be a big part of their future. Comparisons to Donald Sloan, the former Aggie, now Brooklyn Net. And so Link Darner is going to make sure that everybody gets their minutes here in the NCAA tournament.
And it's going to be a whole line change for Green Bay.
And the Green Bay fans who are here with a nice round of applause as The seniors who brought him here, champs of the Horizon League, a 23-win season.
Well, they took some hits too when the coaching change happened. Brian Wardell left for Bradley. The two-time Player of the Year in the Horizon, Kiefer Sykes, graduated. So there was a drain of talent coming into this year, and I don't know if they expected the Horizon League tournament championship, but it was a fine first year for Link Garner.
Talked about it with the finality for the seniors in NCAA tournament loss.
All of a sudden, the real world is staring you right in the face.
Big three from Avery Brown. So the freshman from Claremont, Florida, Link Garner gets him in to get some NCAA tournament experience. Brown gets a three. 9 made threes in the game for Green Bay, but the Aggies have an answer.
Kobe Eubanks with the shot. Only his 4th three of the year.
It's always fun when you get down into the closing minutes and guys who come from the end of the bench and have their moment.
Hey, regardless of what happens, you will be in you will have scored in the NCAA tournament.
Eubanks played in just 6 games all year. The roar because Kyle Dobbins, the walk-on, is about to sub into the game for Texas A&M. So with a minute 26. Kyle Dobbins is like a runner in the box, ready to check in for the last minute 26.
It's like Usain Bolt over there.
I think that's the first time Kyle has ever been compared to Usain Bolt.
You can bet that the next possession that his teammates are going to get him a shot.
Kyle Dobbins hasn't made a shot since January 2nd versus Arkansas.
Well, it's time to change that.
This would be the biggest NCAA tournament win margin-wise in Texas A&M men's basketball history, and their first since 2010. Cantor misses the three. Gilder tracks it down, and now we see if Kyle Dobbins, number 25 for Texas A&M, gets his moment. Dobbins off the bounce. Nice move.
Stepped out of bounds.
Oh, Dobbins.
Yeah, I mean, you could. The whole crowd is willing him to take a shot.
I think the Green Bay fans want to see Kyle Dobbins hit a shot at this point. We've got a nice round of applause for their Green Bay team making it back to the NCAA tournament, champions of the Horizon League. And Dobbins commits the foul. Dobbins, a mechanical engineering major from Houston, appropriately enough for Texas A&M. Karam Cantor was hoping for a win, so brother Ennis could watch him play on Sunday with the Thunder back in town.
He was not afraid to come in and put up threes in this game. Started looking for him early.
Sophomore from Istanbul, Turkey. Aggies 44 seconds away from advancing. They will face either Texas or Northern Iowa. Here's Dobbins attacking again. The kick out. Air ball from Eubanks. Dobbins gets the rebound. Offensive board.
Got to give it to him.
Here's Dobbins. Off the bounce. Pulls up. Dobbins nails it.
That's awesome. That's the loudest cheer we've heard all night.
Kyle Dobbins, welcome to March Madness.
We got the rebound, kicked it back out. How about that? They should take him out now, give him a curtain call.
First basket since January 2nd for the senior from Houston, Kyle Dobbins.
That's a moment that he will never forget. He'll get DVD of this game.
Dobbins gets the steal, and now Dobbins will have the chance to dribble out the first Texas A&M win in the NCAA Tournament since 2010. In commanding fashion, 92-65, the Aggies advance with a win over the 14 seed Green Bay.
That may have been one of the best minutes of basketball I've seen in a long time.
Just 14 total points, though Kyle Dobbins nails that one. So Texas A&M advances to play on Sunday in the West region. They will await the winner of Texas and Northern Iowa. That game approximately 10 Eastern on TBS. The Aggies move on. Tournament games continue now on CBS, TNT, and True TV. Coming up on TBS, it's 11 seed Northern Iowa versus 6 seed Texas. We'll send it to our studio after these messages.